The tapes from this round, going back over, picking out what we feel were the best fights of the round and bringing it to you here in the best of. I'm here with the guy that I feel was the MVP of the round, Justin Wright. Justin Wright, you came on, this was your first round, first time you fight, you came in, you just dominated. How's it feel?
I feel good, you know. I'm a little spastic, a little stiff looking out there, but I feel a lot more in control than I look, and I just feel good about it.
It's a lot different watching yourself on TV than it feels when you're in there, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I look stupid on TV.
But I tell you what, nobody trains harder than this kid. This kid's here all the time training. He's hitting the bags, he's running, he's working in the ring. I expect to see bigger and better things out of this kid next round. Justin, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, right now we're going to check out a couple of his fights. We're going to kind of go back over the round. He didn't fare so well in his first fight, but he got better and better and better. Check it out, Justin Wright in round 8 of the Ultimate Combat Experience. It's so funny to watch these guys. It's almost like watching the innocence of little children. You know, these guys are little children in the ring. They don't know, but they get in there and they do it. And
the prettiest thing you've ever seen, but boy, way out in left field and left himself wide open for a shot.
And Tim, already blood coming out of the nose of Justin Wright, and I expect to see that. Those knees will have an effect, though.
Boy, that nose is really bleeding from Justin Wright, and he's now going to throw some knees in here while he had that headlock on Trev Payne. There's another knee coming from a couple of shots from Justin Wright. The one thing
face down a little bit now, that realization's starting to set in that, yeah, I'm going to conserve a little bit. This kid's pretty tough.
Boy, there's another left hand that goes.
And the crowd loves it too, man. They love when these guys will stand and trade like this. They don't want to see two sweaty bodies rolling around on the ground. They want to see two guys getting after it, and these guys are delivering. All the crowd could
better go after it.
That looks like a comfortable place to sit. I'll sit down for a minute and get my breath back. These guys are really laying it all out there, and even as they're tied up here, you see they're both
and get it out, having a hard time keeping his hands up here.
Wow, these guys are both throwing, and I think this is just going to be a battle of wills here. Who can take the most punches by the end of this fight? There really isn't a whole lot of difference by way of skill. They're about to here.
Fatigue may well be the factor, and right now Trev Payne just leaning up against those ropes, and Justin not doing a whole lot to bring him out. Better put more behind that right hand, and there's the end of the first round. But wow, Trev Payne misses with a
show of nothing else.
Well, you said Justin threw a left hand that came from Trev. May have hurt him there, but now they find themselves out of bounds, and Lonnie Foster, our referee, is going to stand him back up.
If that's any indication how this fight's going to go, it's going to be a good one. We're the same from these two right now.
There's that same left hand that left Justin wide open a moment ago, and now he gets Trev Payne tied up, but Trev Payne is busy with those shots to the midsection.
And Justin Wright, as we talked about, some amateurs will do. They just grab on his
right hand.
That uppercut is landing, you know, but I'll trade uppercuts for knees any day of the week. And it seems like Trev's landing 3 or 4 uppercuts, but those knees can really take it out of you. And Justin Wright's landed.
Trev has had trouble with is keeping his cardio up, and he looks like he's sucking a lot of air straight to the bridge of the nose of Trev Payne. Neither one of these guys willing to go down to the mat. They want to start and end the fight just this way. Finally, they're down on the mat, but I don't think it was by design. Trev stumbled backwards, and Justin said, as long as he's down there.
You see punches being thrown, activity on both parts. Nice to see.
Couple of more knees from Justin Wright. Now he swings his hips around, and he wants to reset to the middle of the ring. Trev Payne having a hard time, rather.
Landing a lot of shots. Now they're starting to miss a little bit, getting a little bit sloppy due to fatigue, but same skill. They're about the same toughness. It's just going to be a battle of
low motion right hand, and sometimes I think the lefty.
And look at these two. They're going to get out and give you a squeeze, and it takes all that juice out of your arms for later rounds, but it certainly causes an annoyance. It doesn't feel good having your head squeezed.
Justin Wright, but Trev Payne has just been relentless with that.
3 or 4 big ones already in this fight.
Trev has shown well in the ring, and now he already.
Well, they came out, both of them, and blew their wad really quickly in this fight, but you know, it looks like maybe they're slowing them.
Look at that.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
That was insane.
The last time I'm going to try this, that, and if that doesn't work, I'll try again.
I'm trying some more.
Lonnie Foster again, your referee, and here they come back for more.
And 2 very fatigued warriors come out to the middle.
Shot, his best shot.
They're getting his win back.
Well, and I could be wrong, but this may be as far as Trev Payne has ever.
You can see on his face, he's very determined, and Trev Payne just kind of hanging his head low, and it doesn't look like he has enough in him to really finish this kid.
Justin slowly but surely trying to work his way out of that right side and roll Trev Payne over, but he's certainly not going to wait for that to happen. He's big punches.
Now, we talked about this happening. It looks like Justin Wright's able to get his hips out there, and now they're going to go out of bounds.
Lonnie's going to let him go quite a ways that way.
It's the end of the second round there, and Justin Wright's got a lot of blood coming out of that nose still.
You want to talk about fatigue. Just keep your eye on Trev Payne. He can't make it back a little bit, and Justin Wright loves to throw that left hand.
Justin Wright's a picture to remember there with the blood on his nose. He doesn't care. He just wants to get in there and mix it up some more. You see here in your Crush Combat Cam, that was a big right hand that Justin took on the nose. I think that's what started the bloody nose, and it kind of collapsed him there. But Trev Payne was not able to finish him off. Justin Wright came back and gave him a heck of a first round.
We saw Justin Wright go down to the mat. Then Justin started to fight back, and you said the last time we saw him fight, about the time you think he's in trouble, he always comes back with a flurry, and boy did he. There's one shot with that left hand. You see another shot with a left hand. One more time, a left hand from Justin Wright, and every time Trev Payne would throw that lazy right hand out there, Justin capitalized with a counterpunch.
Well, I'm glad I'm not judging this fight, because that's about as close a fight or round as you can get, but my crystal ball's on the fritz. I don't think this thing's going all 3 rounds, Tim.
No, and you see Trev Payne miss again and again, and Justin Wright perfectly placed left hand right on the chin of Trev Payne. We're going to get underway here with round number 2.
Here, they're doing a little shucking and ducking right here, and now a couple punches are let go, but not the same tenacity that we saw at the start of the first round.
And if I'm in Trev's corner, I'm saying, how many times you got to get hit with that left hand before you figure out that that's where the arms of Justin Wright so that he can do some damage?
Well, you know, he's got a path
to go into an Ultimate Combat matchup in all of his times in here.
I think you're right there, Tim, and I think this may be as long as Justin Wright's has gone as well. I think these guys are trying to get their win back a little bit. Lonnie Foster's going to have to stand him up here. Something's going to happen to change the posture of this fight.
You see Justin just going crazy with the right and left hands on Trev Payne, but Trev Payne still hanging in there within the guard of Justin Wright, and Justin just doesn't have enough in his tank to do the elevation of the hips and roll him over. He tried right there, but just didn't have the strength to get it done.
As we said, Tim, it's going to turn out to be a battle of wills here. I don't know that either one of them have enough experience to submit the other. I think it looks to me like Justin Wright just wants it more.
With his hands, and Trev Payne also looking for opportunities, but there is nothing behind those.
This week, Tim, I'd like to see him stand him up here. You know, not a lot going on. Let's get them back on their feet. Let's get them working again. There's nothing really let them go as there was action going on there. They were toward the side of the ring, but there was action going on. So we let the fight continue. Looks like
is coming from it. You've got to defend it.
Well, a little bit of change here. Now we've gone to the ground game. We saw a lot of stand-up last round. Trev Payne getting a takedown here. Justin Wright pulling him into his guard, however, and doing a nice job of holding him in tight, not letting him sit up and drop any bombs on him.
Justin bothered by that mouthpiece, so he reaches in and takes it and throws it away. But now Trev Payne looking for opportunities here to secure the
guard first, and I don't know that he's that skilled on the ground or that knowledgeable on the ground. You got to get past the guard before you start working for submission. I think Trev Payne just kind of hanging out for a minute. These guys have both really laid it out there in the first round. Second round, we're seeing a little bit of cat and mouse.
Until somebody gets hampered by the ropes, and so far that hasn't happened. But here comes Justin Wright now. Almost got his way worked up onto the back of Trev Payne. Gets himself out of it. Let's see what he does with it. Looks like Lonnie's going to help here.
I did like how Lonnie, he's moving slow there, that's for sure. I'll be surprised to see if he can get up off that. That's
no more, and he just has no gas left in the tank.
Well, that's the way this one's going to end, which is somewhat anticlimactic. But you know, you saw here in your Crush video combat cam, these guys did get after it. He did get the big takedown, but just didn't have anything left in the tank to finish off his opponent.
And there's one of the flurries from Justin Wright, while he, of course, had Trev Payne within his guard there in the second round. Started to work his way out of it. And that's kind of the result of what he started right there, and then they got tangled up in the corner right near the end of the second round, and Trev Payne just had nothing left to come back out.
For the third round, I've seen too many guys plop down on that stool and never get back up. At
the same time, look at Justin Wright. He's standing in his corner, so
that could be an intimidating factor, man. You look across the ring, you see your opponent standing, you're that tired. Looks like he's shaking this one off here, Tim. I don't think he's coming back out.
Trev's telling Lonnie Foster he wants it, so Lonnie Foster's going to turn this one over to Justin Wright. Look at that. He's a happy boy.
Hey, let this be a lesson to you guys. Learn some submission. These guys are both tough guys, but a submission guy would have beaten either one of them. These guys need to get in the gym and learn some jiu-jitsu. Well, Justin Wright, as we said, man, is a tough kid right here. You didn't look so stiff in there.
What can I say? I guess I'm hard on myself. I don't know.
Hey, Justin, I appreciate you coming. We got a lot more of the Ultimate Combat. Stick around.
By the way, if you think you enjoy watching Ultimate Combat on TV, imagine what it would be like to see it live. You've got that opportunity again this week. Coming up at Club Axis, a private club for members only. It gets underway. Doors open at 8, fights start at 9, and tickets are available at Graywell CD Exchange. Do you believe you're the meanest man on the block? Then prove it at the fiercest fighting show in town. The Ultimate Combat Experience is currently looking for fighters and participants of all backgrounds. Call today at area code 801-755-7843 or log on to ultimatecombat.com to register and become part of the experience. If you're interested in advertising or becoming a sponsorship partner of the Ultimate Combat Experience, call today. Or log on to ultimatecombat.com and join the hottest TV show around.
Welcome back. We're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to check out kickboxing. We didn't have a whole lot of kickboxing this round, but what we did have was pretty action-packed. MARQUEZ lost a decision to Brad Taylor last round in the championship. Well, he avenged that loss tonight. You want to check it out? MARQUEZ and Brad Taylor in a lightweight kickboxing match.
Mike, it has been a while since we've had kickboxing on the show, and if you're going to have it, these are two good guys to bring it back on a Sunday night on UPN. Here's MARQUEZ.
MARQUEZ has come a long way in this show. You see Jimmy Pollock, Jimmy from Jimmy's Jab Shack, bringing him in the ring there, man. Not a finer corner in the business, and we look to see good things out of MARQUEZ tonight.
He comes in 5'7", 155 pounds, and here's what he had to say about tonight's matchup.
Well, last time I stepped in the ring, I kind of came on spur of the moment. I didn't know how to kick or block, but I've learned that now, and I'm ready to show it.
You can look at MARQUEZ. He's physically changed since he started this tournament. He was a little soft when we first saw him, and now look at him. He's all cut up and chiseled and ready to go.
Ethan Andrews gets us started here for this one, scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds, and you heard MARQUEZ say he was ready to come out and show he can kick, and that's the first thing he tries to get out there.
Well, he said he added kicking and block this round, so those are two fine things to add to your regimen in a kickboxing matchup. You certainly want to know how to.
Left hands, and MARQUEZ goes down. Ethan's going to rule this as a knockdown, too.
Wow, that's a big knockdown again when you're talking about being the speed man. And then
MARQUEZ was almost sticking that glove out there to get a little touch, and he got a kick right to the side instead.
Yeah, you got to keep your guard up at all times. I don't think Brad Taylor did that out of malice, but boy, MARQUEZ caught Brad Taylor with some big shots.
In this one, I guarantee you that, having seen both of these guys fight before.
Well, Brad Taylor's hurt here. You can see, Tim, he's just trying to cover up. MARQUEZ caught him with a couple of,
which he just misses with, and then ends up taking a barrage from MARQUEZ, including a right hand that sends him down. On
be able to recoup after a standing 8 count here. He looks a little wobbly in the knees, though, Tim. I'm a little concerned for him.
Get back.
I don't think Brad's getting up either. MARQUEZ sensed blood, and he went after him for the kill. Caught him with another right hand. It didn't look all that devastating, but
that's a pretty good line. And I would guess that MARQUEZ has been working out with Chago probably at the training center, too.
It sounds like he's got the talking part down a little bit here. He's going up against a pretty tough kid again in Brad Taylor here. You know, Brad's one of the...
I'm going to come out and see what he got and then try to counter off of whatever he throws at me. Hey, Brad, I hope there's a bomb shelter underneath that ring because I'm going to be raining bombs tonight.
This time I stepped in the ring and find the same guy for the round 5 championship and took it, but it's pretty tough. My game plan's going out, trying to stay away from him, circling, and it's going to be speed against power tonight, and hopefully speed prevails. I've been training, of course, at the Ultimate Combat Gym with Mike Stedham and the Postman and all those guys. I thank them. I've been doing some training up at Club Mac in Midvale on my boxing skills with the guys working my corner now, 2 to 3 times a week. I'm walking away with it tonight, and you better be on target because I'm going to be moving around.
So is Brad the guys that were here in round 1, if you remember back, Tim, and he's still here in round 8. It's good to see him in the ring.
Here's what he had to say about taking on MARQUEZ. This equation.
Brad's the speed, and MARQUEZ is certainly the power.
You see Brad Taylor come over the top with a couple of good right.
That's got to be a nice boost to the confidence of Brad Taylor.
Boy, and it looked like
good shots.
Hard to tell if he got dinged a little bit. Brad Taylor, also known for that spinning back. That standing 8, says he's ready to go. A little rubbing of the gloves, and Ethan sends him back out to battle. Let's see if MARQUEZ, knowing that his opponent's been dinged a little bit, follows up and does indeed. And there is Brad Taylor on his
to his regiment. Knock somebody down this early in the there.
Going to be no lack of knee.
He voluntarily takes the knee there. Hopefully he's going to You put the two together, and Brad Taylor's done tonight.
Yeah, Brad's shaking his head. Ethan was asking him if he was all right, and you saw a little shake of the head. Marquez already going to raise the hand, and Jimmy, look at that smile on Jimmy's face. That's been a while since we've seen that, too.
You see here on your Crush Combat cam, Brad Taylor came out with nice push kicks to begin with, but he got caught with the right hand that stunned him, and I don't think he was ever able to come back from it.
Mark still needs to work on those kicks. I was just going to say, he put it up there. He just missed with everything.
He did. That was the big right hand that sent Marquez to the canvas to begin with. But Marquez came back with a vengeance, and he was just too much for Brad Taylor. He was all over him. Too much power, too many punches. Brad Taylor folded under the pressure.
He got himself stuck in the corner and couldn't get out. And there's that spinning back kick we were talking about that Brad just missed with, but then left himself wide open for a barrage from his opponent, Marc Marquez, tonight. And there's the right hand that sent him down to the canvas. Here's the official word on it. Marc Marquez getting his hand raised here from Ethan Andrews, and we're underway with the second consecutive week of finals matchups for you on the Ultimate Combat Experience. Congratulations to Marc Marquez.
I told
the speed or the power.
Long. Well, Marc Marquez did avenge that loss, but my favorite fighter from this round, Shaggy, he came back from last round again. He's in fighting a pretty tough kid by the name of Mike Hendricks. Check it out. It's light heavyweight, no holds barred.
I'll tell you what, Daniel Jensen's taken on a life all of his own with that nickname of Shaggy, and he is big and lanky, and he's back for more tonight.
And he's shagadelic, Tim. You know, he's really gotten into this show. I really like this kid. He really enjoys his time in the ring and looks forward to it every week.
Look at that, 6'6" and 1. He's done his homework, and it's nice to see that he's learning from each of those experiences. But John Hendricks is going to be his opponent here.
Hey, this kid's a pretty tough kid. He says he gets in too many street fights. In fact, he got in one last night, and his knuckles are sore.
My knuckles are a little bruised up today. Got in a little scruff last night at the bar. And I'm going to go in southpaw. I don't really like to fight in bars. I just happen to have a bunch of little Nancy, yuppie, trendy scum that cheers to you. Try to get tough. So don't go to that bar. Basically, I don't know. What was the question? I'm sober tonight. You know, for training, this is my training, basically. You look like a nice guy. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to rough you up.
90, here's what he had to say about tonight's fight.
Well, I definitely don't want to go to the ground. I think I've shown a couple times, my first two fights, that I'm not good on the ground. A little bit awkward down there. Maybe try to throw some knees if he tries to come down, bring me down. Try to put him in a standing guillotine. Keep my legs spread, don't let him take me down. I don't really have a message for him. I guess he likes to drink, so I think he's been drinking tonight. So hopefully that plays a role in something.
Well, it sounds like 6'2". He spots him obviously 4 inches, but I think everybody spots Shaggy a few inches. John Hendricks, tough guy on the street. We'll see how he is in the ring here tonight.
Well, you know, his training is he's sober tonight, so that's interesting. I want to borrow that rock that he combed his hair with, too.
You know, I almost forgot he doesn't want to be called John, so Mike
Hendricks
is actually in the ring here. And both of these guys now, Shaggy said he didn't want to go down. He's going to stand toe-to-toe with Mike Hendricks.
Yeah, those are those big punches we're used to seeing from street fighters, the big haymakers there. Hendricks says, I've had enough of this 6'6" guy. I'm going to take him down to my size.
I'll tell you what's interesting is that Shaggy admits that it's tough for him on the ground because there's so much of him. He's so long. And we talk about his opponents having a hard time with him. Sounds like he has a hard time getting those legs and arms around.
Yeah, he forgot to keep his legs up. He talked about keeping his legs spread to pull him into his guard. He didn't do that. He gives Hendricks a full mount position, and Hendricks is taking advantage of it and laying some big punches on Shagadelic here.
Laying the lumber on that do, and right now, if you haven't seen Shaggy fight before, you can now see why he didn't want to go down to the ground.
Yeah, we've seen him do this before, though, man. This kid is pretty flexible for a guy who's 6'6". He gets his legs up around and trying to come out the back door here. Looks like he's going to be able to do it.
He did it, too. How about that? Boy, that leg's in an awkward spot right now, though. Ouch.
Hendricks was looking at a leg lock, didn't really quite know how to put it on. He's still looking to get past these long legs. He's got to reach to really just try to even touch Shaggy.
This is the other thing I remember about the last time. It's hard for anybody to get close, but he also can't throw punches way out there.
No, I've seen him from when he's laying down. He'll sit up and punch it, and it doesn't seem like he could have done it because he's so far away, but his arms are so long. Shaggy's a great kid. He doesn't have anybody working his corner tonight, so we got Tim the Pimp over there working his corner for him. And I don't know what Tim's telling him right now.
Nothing, it appears.
Pimp slap him, I don't know.
All right, so John Hendricks not quite in the full mount position here, trying to put a forearm into the throat and get somewhat of a choke there while he throws a right hand.
Shaggy trying to elevate the hips and get a reversal here, and Hendricks thwarts it just at the end there. He almost got that reversal. Just a little bit of hanging on going on right now, though, Tim.
Daniel's got Mike well within his guard here, and a bit of a stalemate at the moment.
Done a pretty good job of holding him close there. The last time Mike was able to sit up and throw big punches. Now he's doing it just a little bit again. Daniel wants to hold him close and not give him this opportunity where Hendricks is isolating that arm and looking for big punches here.
Yeah, here's some of that street mentality coming in. You heard Mike say that he got into a bit of a scuffle last night, but using his leg to hold down that left arm of Shaggy so that he could throw some punches.
He says he's going southpaw tonight because his right hand hurts from, or his left hand hurts rather, from a fight last night, and he's throwing pretty much just right hand punches all night.
Got that forearm right back at the throat of Daniel Jensen, but Daniel right now very much on the defensive, and Hendricks just looking for more opportunities, throwing some forearms now and elbows, which we can't see from this vantage point, but if they're landing, they're also doing some damage.
Hendricks laying some big punches out here right here, and Daniel Jensen's in a little bit of trouble. I think he's put up a pretty good fight here, but he's just been outmanned here tonight.
There's the bell for the first round. This one,
big punches, and
Daniel fought, and that is that once he extends those legs, it isn't over. They're going to go back to their corners and talk it over with whoever's helping them out, and come back, and we'll see what changes we can find in round two.
See here in your Crush video, Crush combat cam, where Daniel Jensen comes out the back door, and then he holds off Hendricks by those long legs we talked about, where he wasn't able to reach him and hit him.
You'd have to give that first round to Hendricks, though, wouldn't you?
Oh, without question. He overpowered him. He outfought him. He landed a lot. You know, he's a tough kid, man. He's hanging in there, but that Hendricks kid, he looks like he's sucking a little pond water over there.
And by the way, if you think you enjoy, needs the energy to keep his feet moving and stay out of the way. He's got a reach advantage. So
I think this fight's over, Tim. He was looking for something to tap on. There was nothing to tap on. He landed it, took a couple of big shots, and that's it for this fight.
Yeah, it's too bad because, well, we're going to give you the winner here. John Hendricks, or Mike as he wants to be called, picks up a W here tonight. Congratulations. Just a couple of good shots there in the second round.
Yeah, get a little shout out. Welcome back. In what I felt was the best match of the entire round, Robert Aviles and Brandon Fitzgerald paired up in the finals of round 8, and man, it's a great matchup. Check it out, Robert Aviles and Brandon Fitzgerald.
Well, Mike, this will be a nice way to get a finals night underway, and a finals night so big it's going to take up.
My strategy tonight will be I just want to take him down and pound him, then take him down again, pound him. Just plan on doing it on the ground tonight. I have been sitting on my couch. I haven't done nothing this round to prepare. I know it's going to be a great fight. He's a pretty tough kid from what I hear. I haven't seen him fight, but yeah, it's going to be a tough one tonight, I think, but I'm coming, so.
Well, you always got to wonder when a guy comes into a finals night and wants to tell you his training regimen is from the couch.
Last time I stepped in the ring, I just had one thing in mind. I was going to the ground. I didn't let it all flow out. This time, I'm going to let it go with the flow. Everything, stand up, ground, everything's coming out. My training program is I get up in the morning and run 2 miles. Then I go to the work or take my boy to school. Then on the way home, we run another 2 miles. Then we go down to the gym, training Ultimate Combat. Then he takes me downstairs and trains me down in the basement. I know you've been training with the Densleys. They're pretty tough, but you haven't met Eli Aviles' camp yet.
3 consecutive weeks. We get it started with these, as you said, Spider Division boys. It's Brandon Fitzgerald.
I love these little guys, and Brandon Fitzgerald fights like a big guy. He is 5'10", which is extremely tall for this weight class. I did nothing this round. Well, you know, he's going up against a pretty tough kid, though, Robert Aviles. He better have done something to prepare for this kid.
Last time we saw Robert, he said he was training with his son, 5'7", 138 pounds from Draper. Let's see what he had to say about tonight's finals matchup with Fitzgerald.
The Tooele area is a pretty tough kid, and Robert Aviles is carrying on the Aviles name really, really nicely.
Ethan Andrews gets us started. This one's scheduled for 3. Get his weight set. He used it against him and rolled him out of there, but right now they're tangled up in the corner, and Fitzgerald's got a good front headlock on here.
Yeah, I don't know if people realize this. Aviles was seeing his opponent's hips there and getting the takedown himself.
Well, that's why we had such high expectations for this matchup. Both of these guys no stranger to Ultimate Combat. Both down and they roll right around, and looks like Aviles is back on top.
That was a nice head throw, and it was a very nice counter. What Aviles, Fitzgerald's doing a lot of squeezing and a lot of hanging on, which can be an annoyance to your opponent, but it's going to wear your arms down for later rounds.
Look at that, some big bombs.
Boxer, and then he eats a couple of big knees by Fitzgerald.
As of yet, we'll see how it goes as this fight wears on.
Any dull moments so far, Tim, as we see some of the bigger guys. These guys are really getting after it.
That's one of the reasons we always look forward to these guys getting in the ring, and I think Ethan just making sure that both guys are aware that he needed them, wanted to give up their position. Avila's reacts to it.
And I would like to see Avila set himself up a little more. He's just kind of walking into these punches a little bit. I know Robert's a little better boxer than that. I think that was pretty ugly to see him move in on those.
There's another good left hand from FITZGERALD, and now he takes two.
I think that's the end of your first round there.
And there's the record. Densley giving some instructions.
I was listening to Densley work a corner before. A very good
to the right leg of Avila's while he throws bombs, and you talk about that
to him maintaining his position, not giving anything up while he's doing those punches. Too often we get guys get up and they're so intent on punching
that then FITZGERALD finds a way to roll him over.
Yeah, he sure did. Made me look bad there, but Avila's is as good at time. None of those are really debilitating shots, but boy, it can get a hold getting punched in the face time and time again.
There's a couple of more in the corner now, and Ethan, our referee, trying to keep the ropes out of the way so that we don't have to stop the action and standing back up. But boy, here's a flurry from Avila's now.
He sat up and did that flurry. He didn't go knee up and control his opponent, and
he's hanging in there. So there's the end of the second round. This one's scheduled for 3, and good sportsmanship being shown by both of these guys.
Avila's, huh?
That's his dad there, and Eli's a well-known guy out there. Really good wrestlers, collegiate-style wrestlers, and it was a very nice takedown. Got in deep and got the takedown. Working on a full mount position, doesn't quite get it, though.
Yeah, Robert did a smart thing there before FITZGERALD could actually.
Placer in wrestling as well. Pretty tough high school wrestler out in the Twill area. Does a nice job of elevating.
Thrown by Avila's right now, and there's a knee, 2 knees coming in. And you'll see that these guys seem to be fazed by the punishment from the other side.
FITZGERALD there using his reach. He does have a reach advantage. Remember, he's 5'10". He's landed a couple of jabs there, and he's landed on the chin of Robert Aviles a couple times.
Gets another. You're right, though. FITZGERALD doing a good job of.
He did. That was a big right hand by Robert Aviles, but
in between rounds to FITZGERALD. And we'll take a look at round number 2 when we come back on a finals night of Ultimate Combat. Stay with us. And by the way, if you think you enjoy watching experience on the mat from Aviles, he showed great balance there and being able to stay in this fight.
Yeah, but you know what that reminded me of? Remember Robert Densley grabbed Johnny Ritchie's foot way back in round 3 or 4 and just pummeled him. And again, these guys, he's a spitting image of Robert or Densley and doing a nice job. But Robert Aviles just a little too much for him, I think.
And Aviles finds his way back over and looking for any opportunity he can find to punch. And in the meantime, FITZGERALD just hanging on and trying to close the gap here.
We've talked a little bit about this. Aviles doing a nice job of keeping his hips in. They lose their control on top. Aviles doing a nice job of keeping control of his opponent.
Although he looked a little high, and no sooner have I.
So he's working on a shoulder lock here, although he's got to get the head out of there.
Did a good job of giving up that full mount, see if he can put a little more pressure on the shoulder. And again, FITZGERALD rolls out of it. These two guys, neither one of them can be held down for too long.
FITZGERALD. And again, Aviles very busy. He's throwing shots.
We certainly had a lot of action in that first one. His corner getting instruction, and Robert Aviles, round number 2 of this one. And welcome back once again to the Ultimate Combat Experience. There you see Brandon FITZGERALD in
3-minute rounds, and immediately FITZGERALD comes out looking for that 2-legged takedown.
You know, that is so like the Densley camp.
In with great ground skills, and now Robert Aviles is going to deliver some knees to the rib cage there.
You know, and I don't think those really are bothering FITZGERALD, given the stock that he comes from. He's from some pretty tough kids there, but it does a nice job of softening him up for later rounds.
You see Robert almost as if recognizing that Densley has been helping in the training of FITZGERALD. He decides he's going to fight back exactly that way. Lots of fists there on the ground, but FITZGERALD throws him back.
As he anticipated the timing of the throw, and he rolled him through, came around on top.
FITZGERALD, and they're right back on the mat. This is a great way to get a finals night started. This crowd is really into the first fight of the night.
This is as good as any main event we've seen. I forget to mention that Aviles is also a pretty good.
Thought about bringing that knee back in there to soften up FITZGERALD a little bit, but neither one of
them are going out of bounds there, and Ethan's going to stand him back up. One thing, though, for sure, we haven't had
him to break when he tells him to break, and they got tangled up there, and neither went in with a left hand and poking him and then stepping away, getting out of the way of Robert Aviles' right.
He kicked there as well. He's leaning backwards on Fitzgerald wisely goes underneath, gets the takedown.
And we're getting everything we expected from our first match of the night.
Absolutely. And, you know, both these guys have really good corners. I
talk about the Spider division. These guys are wire.
Anybody I've seen at hip mastery, boy, he got his hips up there, elevated him, and got the playing tough that one out. That thing was on, and Avila should have brought it away from his body a little bit, but boy, Fitzgerald just a tough kid, and he powered his way through that.
Avila starts with the left hand to try and soften up Fitzgerald. That didn't work, so he goes to the right hand. And now, well, let's see what he does with his position here. He's just going to continue to punch away at the midsection.
This Fitzgerald just gives you fits, though. He's constantly elevating his hips and constantly working on a reversal, and it makes it very difficult for Aviles to really set up an offense.
A couple of those knees came awfully close to the top of the head of Robert Aviles, too. And here he goes again. You talk about elevating the hips, but this time Aviles fights him right back down to the mat.
Fitzgerald turns into him, but then Aviles counters with a nice move and gets up full mount. It's like a game of chess with these two. They're doing a great job, both offensively and defensively.
How are you scoring this one so far?
Once again, I just see Aviles controlling the tempo. He's controlling the action. Again, I think round two is much like round one. Aviles has landed a lot more shots, although none of them are really debilitating. He's landed a lot of shots. I give him round two as well.
Well, I'd go a little further than saying not debilitating. There just is much behind those punches right now from Robert Aviles, and to be honest with you, I'm impressed, and he's going to try and put that shoulder lock on again, but I'm impressed with Fitzgerald if he's really been training from the couch with the remote control back into their corners.
You see here in your Crush Combat cam, man, what a great round. That takedown that was initiated by Fitzgerald, that Aviles just kind of wrapped him up and dropped him, pile drived him down into the ground. And then we talked a little bit about this being Densley-esque when Densley grabbed Johnny Ritchie's foot and continued to punch him. Didn't work out so well for Fitzgerald there, though, because Aviles kept punching him.
He was hopping around on one foot and never stopped the action on his side either. And here you see some of the work that Aviles had on the ground against Fitzgerald. Left hands to the midsection, right hands to the head. He was not stopping anywhere.
And again, Tim, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but you just don't see this with the big guys. These little guys have gone from start to finish 100%. We talked a little bit about how Aviles really needs to work
out, or whether it's out on the street or in the gym. A finals night at Ultimate Combat, and it comes down to this, and I
just missed it, and Fitzgerald comes around on top.
As has been the case throughout this fight, either one of these guys, when they sense that there is a shift of body weight from their opponent, they immediately take advantage of
that shoulder lock. He's not applying it properly, but I'm sure he'll make those adjustments for his next fight.
Both of them taking a little late. But guess, Mike, that neither one of these guys want to leave it in the hands of the judges.
No, I don't think they do, but Fitzgerald, the onus is on him right now. In my opinion, Aviles has won both rounds 1 and 2, and Fitzgerald really needs to do something special here in the third round to take this victory home. I'm not real impressed with Aviles' kick so far in the first round, the third round here.
When you talk about Aviles.
And no hip rotation, he's dropping his hands. All these are signs of fatigue, but Aviles lays a big combination on here. Fitzgerald wisely trying to jab out and move away.
And now
he's getting his takedown though.
Let's see if he rolls that leg over, and he does indeed, looking for the full mount, but he's going to have to give up the head, which he does.
And he's looking for that shoulder lock again that once again he hasn't applied properly yet tonight, but he's definitely caused an annoyance to his opponent with it.
A couple of good punches, though, getting in there. And yeah, you'd have to think after trying that shoulder lock twice and not having the desired effect on his opponent that he'd be looking for other ways to submit here, but here he goes one more time.
One more time, but yeah, as you know, Tim, that shoulder
punches there straight to the head of Fitzgerald.
Getting a little bit sloppy here in the last few moments of this fight, but you know, these guys have laid it all out there, and if he does slide that foot down there, he will have a figure 4.
Oh, I think both of them kind of waiting here to see what happens, and that's a dangerous way to be throwing knees in this position, and illegal, is it not, if you happen to aim those at the back of your opponent?
Great match. That's the end of your third round there, Ethan.
2-0 in the corner and getting some final instruction as we head for round number 3. This is what these guys train for, though, whether it's on the
and back way too much.
Fitzgerald's gone back in to use his reach advantage. You'll see him step in and throw 1 or 2 and then step back out. And you're right, those kicks, not only is there not much behind him, but he's not getting them up very far off the ground. Goes for a takedown, but Aviles spreads himself out, and he's going to continue to throw punches. You know, we came in here thinking that Fitzgerald was going to fight the Densley way, and we've seen some Densley-esque, as you have said before, some Densley-esque technique from Aviles here.
And Aviles putting on a chokehold here in the front here. He's going to probably want to try to sit back with that, or he's really causing an annoyance for Fitzgerald right now. Not going to do much. Lock is a great setup for an arm lock, and if Aviles was anticipating a little quicker, he could have thrown an arm lock on there.
And roll over, and that's why we've had such great action here, and Fitzgerald does it again and finds himself on the top side.
He sure does, and Avila's trying to climb up the body. He's pinning the arm down, looking for a triangle choke perhaps, maybe even an arm lock. He's trying to get up the body there. He's not quitting. He's not laying there and taking this victory for granted. He's trying to improve his position and does a nice job, gets it up there and isolates the arm.
And here comes, I know Avila's likes to call this the figure four, but you have another name for it. Tried to lock on that, and now he's got an arm tied up while he's throwing.
Applied, and he's not doing that right now.
I'm not sure what this is all about, to be honest with you. They're going to
call it
headed north and south here.
The Saturday Night Ride here. If he does, and at the spine as well. But, you know, I mean, they're so tangled up here, it's kind of hard to say anything's illegal. But what a great match both men.
And I think they both realized it, too. They immediately look towards each other to get a handshake and a hug and go back to the corners. And it will come down to a judge's decision. We're about to find out what the judges thought of this one. And there it is, Robert Avila. As you said, you had it with him in the first and second round, and that FITZGERALD was going to have to prove something, and obviously he did not to the judges either.
I told you it was a good one. Those little guys get after it. We'll be back in just a minute with your main event. You want to check this one out. It was a super heavyweight matchup in the finals of round 8. Benjamin Fuimaono against Vino Dela Cruz. Check it out.
Do you think you're tough? Do you think you're bad? Do you believe you're the meanest man on the block? Then prove it at the fiercest fighting show in town. The Ultimate Combat Experience is currently looking for fighters and participants of all backgrounds. Call today at area code 801-755-7843 or log on to ultimatecombat.com to register and become part of the experience. This is what happens when your boss gets a hold of the toughest gear in town.
Steven, this is the 10th time I've been in your office for the same problem. These TPS reports have no cover sheets. Do it again. I don't think he knows who I am.
Be careful who you boss around. Visit one of our exclusive retailers. Strut it in the Valley Fair Mall. School is back in session. The Ultimate Combat Training Center, Utah's largest training facility located at 4095 West, 4715 South, is currently teaching classes in self-defense and all forms of mixed martial arts. Join today and learn karate, boxing, kickboxing, and today's fastest growing sport, Jiu Jitsu. Call area code 801-967-5295 or log on to ultimatecombat.com and join the biggest and best training center in town.
I don't want to make Vino mad. I'm just kidding. He's got the big black and gold singlet on from Cottonwood High School there. He's going up against a pretty tough kid, though.
Lonnie checks in both corners, and
wow, look at that. I can't believe that came out that fast. And Benjamin.
And when he tells him to break, he needs to break. And wow, it was all out or get out here, so we're back underway. Oh, there's a right
this
hand,
fight
and
is
good
over,
night,
Tim.
Vino.
Vino, we'll see you tomorrow, man. Lonnie Foster's calling a stop to this fight, but I don't think he had to. Vino was not getting up from that.
He may be more right than wrong when he says this isn't fun, this is work, when you take on somebody like Benjamin Fuimaono.
Hey, they call him Maney.
Strategy tonight will be whatever he gives me. I'm not going to go out there and tell you I'm going to knock him out, but big possibility that's where we're going. A lot of blood still. If he wants to go down to the ground, we'll just make him tap out. It's one way or the other, ground and pound, any which way. I'm training from Global Combat. We work out. We're soon to be coming to Cottonwood Mall, so be looking for us there. I work 5 hours a day. It's a job for me. This isn't fun. I'm definitely taking home the trophy tonight. Like I say, I worked more, bigger, faster. He is the smallest guy I've ever fought. Good luck.
Thought it was something I could try out. I've been watching the fights on TV for a while, and I think I can get in here and mix it up with them boys. Okay. Well, I've been just hitting the gym hard, hitting the bags. My trainer's heavy runner, Shane Heavy Runner. Just working on some 1-2s, just doing a damn thing in the gym. First of all, Vino, man, I'm just wishing you good luck, and you know, best of luck to you. But there's only one winner, so just coming to kick some.
He's a big kid. He's with the Global Combat crew or the Slamming crew. They call him the Tank, and he's a pretty tough kid.
5'9". They've actually got him listed at 320 pounds. He's quite a specimen, though, and those gathered ringside just go, whoa.
Man, this kid is a tough kid, man. He's got the best 1-2 in the business. Fights out at my gym. He likes to be called Bad Boy in this show, though.
He'd be considered big at 230, but standing next to 320, he doesn't look all that big, does he? 6'1". Let's see what the Maniac had to say about his matchup. Thank you for withholding that from us there. Lonnie Foster giving some last-minute instructions. The challenge that former opponents of Vino have had is just getting your arms around this guy if you're going to take him down.
He's a big kid. You see he's sponsored by Bumblebee Tuna there. Now
down with Vino and tries to wrap him up
the ground like that.
And again, Lonnie telling Benji.
Feeling good about that. What a big punch. Knocked
Here
him
it
out
is
cold.
Again.
There's
Bang.
the first one.
That's the first knockdown, and here's where Lonnie's trying to get Benjamin to back off and either get down on the mat with his opponent or get out of the way. So he fights on here until they get tied up. So Lonnie stands him back up after the first knockdown, and watch what happens here in slow motion. Bang!
Good night, Vino. Vino is out for the count. Lonnie steps.
Already, Vino's down on the mat, and Lonnie exhorting Benjamin to let his opponent get up or get down on the mat with him so he goes here.
That was a big right hand that sent a 300-pounder to the canvas. Fuimaono able to drop Vino de la Cruz right hand.
Vino de la Cruz is cruising the Caribbean as we speak.
And Benjamin Fuimaono to stop the fight, but he didn't have to, man. You see that Benjamin Fuimaono, he is your super heavyweight champion.
And by the way, if you think you enjoy watching Ultimate Combat on TV, imagine what it would be like to see it live. You've got that opportunity again this week. Coming up at Club Access, a private club for members only. It gets underway. Doors open at 8, fights start at 9, and tickets are available at Graywell CD Exchange. Our post-fight interview with our winner tonight, Fuimaono, is sponsored by Graywell CD Exchange.
I have a real hard time celebrating seeing a guy like Vino de la Cruz down on the ground like that, but Maniac, Benjamin, you're my man.
Hey, mate, first of all, I just want to give a shout out and thanks to you for giving me a chance and let me train at the Ultimate Combat Training Center.
Let me tell you what, some guys came into our gym not too long ago very disrespectfully, and Maniac asked them very nicely, you guys show some respect when you come in here, and you know what, you spoke with your fists tonight. Vino de la Cruz is a tough dude. He is no slouch. You put him down.
Mike,
you put him down.
Let me tell you like this. Everybody believes that good things come in small packages. We proved that tonight. This man came out of nowhere. Everybody's like, who's he? Where does he come from? He's new? Bam! That's what I'm talking about.
I'm telling you, Shane Heavy Runner, the man that trains this man, said I ain't seen stars in a long time. This guy made me see stars. He made a couple other people see stars tonight. Johnny Ritchie. Wow. Hey, it was a great show tonight. Hey, this was a finals night, but you know what? This was one of the best shows I have ever had the honor and the privilege of being around. Great show, great fight. Talk to the people.
It was one after another. It wasn't like there was two good fights and a bad fight. It was
before, and I want to thank the viewers. We'll see you next week. Hey, there's a lot more of the Ultimate Combat experience. There's some tough people in Utah. We'll see you next week. got blood. Well, Vino Dela Cruz had blood that night, man. I told you, round 8 was great, but round 9 promises to be even better. You should see the guys that came to the fighter meeting. There were tons of them. There were big, hungry, ugly-looking guys. It's going to be a great round. You want to check it out. We're at a new venue this round. We're at Club Axis, which is at 1st South and 5th West, a private club for members. You got to check it out. It's right behind the gateway. It's a great venue for fights. Also, Graywell CD is coming in big for us. They're our exclusive ticket broker. The only place you can get Ultimate Combat tickets is at Graywell CD. They're only $15 if you go pick them up in advance. Also, if you get them in advance at Graywell, you qualify to win an Xbox each week at the live show. Also, we have a tremendous promotion going on with Mountain High Motorsports. They're giving away a Polaris Predator 500 ATV. It's the baddest ATV out there. You got to check this one out. It's at the live show on display. And if you come to the live show, you can win this thing. The other way you can win it, watch this show and then tune in to U92, Utah's Beat, Monday mornings. The morning show, the Whipping Boy. You got to talk to him, give him the clue of the week from the night before on our TV show. Man, this thing is awesome. You're going to check it out. The Ultimate Combat Experience, bringing it all to you with Mountain High Motorsports, Graywell CD. We'll see you next week.
He spars with me all the time. I outweigh him by 200 pounds. That's why he's in shape, because he fights guys like this. Check it out. All of this is his playground. That's what I'm talking about, his playground.